Welcome back, students, to Accounting 1329, Payroll and Business Tax Accounting. This is Dr. Mercado speaking. I hope all of you are having a fantastic week thus far. This week we are going to be finalizing. This is going to be our last lecture over Chapter 6. This is the second week that we cover Chapter 6. This week should be a little bit more easier because now you're a little bit more familiar with the chapter content. Remember, do not attempt your assignments unless you have read the chapter. It is very, very important that you read the chapter. Chapter 6 deals with analyzing and journalizing payroll. Okay? Just a reminder, if you have any questions, concerns about any of the assignments, please make sure that you send me a Blackboard message or an email or a pronto message, whatever works for you. Just make sure that you do include the problem number that you are working on, and let me know what class you're in. I have several sections of the class, so sometimes it becomes difficult to identify what class you're in. Okay, so just let me know what class you're in, the problem that you're having issues with, and what specifically are you having problems with. Don't tell me, Miss, I'm lost. Lost how, lost where, and show me your work so I can go ahead and review it and provide guidance. Okay, now in today's lecture, I'm going to begin with problem 6-2. Okay. 6-2 deals with disposable earnings, okay? So this problem reads, Callan O'Brien earned $730 this week. The deductions from her pay were as follows. Federal income tax, $66. FICA OASDI, $45.26. FICA HI, $10.59. State income tax, $36.50. State disability insurance, $861. Health insurance premium, $19.50. Credit union contribution, $35, and the United Fine contribution for $5. O'Brien's employer just received a garnishment order for a credit card debt of $3,500 against her pay. Compute the following. So, we have to compute A, O'Brien's disposable earnings, and then B, the amount of her pay subject to the garnishment. Okay. Now, in your textbook, the definition of disposable earnings is provided below. So it says disposable earnings are the earnings remaining after withholding for federal and state income taxes, FICA taxes, state unemployment and disability taxes, and deductions required for state employees' retirement systems. Okay. So these are the items that need to be covered first. Okay. And then whatever is left over, that is your disposable earnings. Okay, that is the money that is going to be subject to the actual garnishment. Okay, so let's figure out what our disposable earnings are for Callan O'Brien. Okay, so we are going to begin with the Callan pay for the week. Okay, so Callan is getting paid, according to the problem, $730. Okay, now we are going to deduct everything that is listed in the definition. Okay, these are the items that need to be covered. Those are the items that the employee needs to pay. Okay, before calculating your disposable earnings. So we need to cover all of our required taxes. Okay, the first taxes that we have is our federal and state income taxes. Okay, so federal income taxes is the first item that we have. Okay, federal income tax. Okay, I'm going to deduct that. Okay, and I'm going to put it in minus because it's a deduction. Okay, and it says here the earnings remaining after withholding for federal and state income taxes. So we need to make sure that we withhold for our taxes, and then whatever is left over, then that will be what is subject to the garnishment, right? We have to cover our taxes first. So federal income taxes needs to get paid. I'm going to deduct that. Those are $66. And it also says state income tax. Okay, state income tax. We have state income tax according to this for $36.50. Okay. Let me put these in comma right there. We go. Okay, so we have federal income tax, state income tax. What else does it say? It says that we have our FICA taxes. Okay, so we have FICA, OASDI, and then we have FICA HI. Okay, my OASDI is $45.26. My HI is $10.59. Okay, so we have our federal and state income taxes, our FICA taxes, our state unemployment and disability taxes. We have state disability insurance right there. Okay, of 861. Okay, do we have anything else? It says unemployment. This particular problem doesn't have anything dealing with unemployment. And any deductions required for state employees' retirement system. This employee doesn't have any retirement contribution, so that does not apply. Okay, so these are the only items that are going to be deducted. Okay, then we can calculate our disposable earnings. Okay, so we're going to add all of these. Okay, so my disposable earnings, and let me make this, there we go, so we can have the cents. Okay, so my disposable earnings are going to be $563.04. These are my earnings after I have deducted all of the taxes that we have to pay. There is no way around paying those specific taxes right there, okay, for this specific employee. There could be additional ones. Remember the list. Make sure that you refer to your list. It's if you see any unemployment taxes, disability, and deductions required for employees' retirement systems. Okay, so we go through the list. These are the items that need to be covered at all times. Okay, we deduct all of those taxes, and this is what we are left with $563.04. Okay, those are our disposable earnings. Okay, so now that we figured out our disposable earnings of $563.04, we can answer the second question, which is what is the amount of her pay subject to the garnishment? Okay, so on your book, you'll find a lot of information about garnishments. Okay, so it says the maximum amount of disposable earnings, which is what we calculated, that can be garnished to repay a debt is the lesser of 25% of disposable earnings for the week, or the amount by which the disposable earnings for the week exceed 30 times the federal minimum wage rate. Okay, it does not apply for garnishments for bankruptcy, child support, or federal or state tax levies. Okay, so then it goes down and it explains the different types of garnishments. Okay, so in this particular problem, it says that we have a credit card debt of $3,500 that is being garnished from our wages. Okay, so based on the information provided, okay, it says here that the maximum amount is 25% of the disposable earnings for the week. So we know that our disposable earnings is $563.04. Okay, we're going to multiply it by our garnishment percentage. And the garnishment percentage is 25%. Okay, so that is going to be $563.04 times 25%. That is going to give me $140.76. Okay, so the employee is going, this is the pay subject to the garnishment. This is the actual amount of garnishment. Okay. Let me make this a little bit garnishment. There we go. So we have disposable earnings of $563.04. Okay, the percentage of the garnishment is going to be 25%. Okay, based on the information provided. So that means that the amount of her pay subject to the garnishment is $140.76. So what does that mean, Dr. Mercado? Well, the employer is going to deduct, and on top of all of these taxes and all of these deductions, the employer is going to withhold from Callan O'Brien's paycheck $140.76 to cover for that credit card garnishment. That they received a letter saying, you know what, this employee owes us money. You have to garnish their wages. Okay, based on this particular calculation for this specific week, this is the amount that the employer is going to take away from the paycheck, and that they're going to send it over to the pertinent entity for the garnishment of the wages. Okay, so garnishment is calculated based on the disposable earnings. First, you calculate the disposable earnings. Then, based on the disposable earnings, you calculate the garnishment percentage. Okay, and then remember, there's a lot of information limitations about how to, or the limitations of how much to garnish depending on the type of garnishment. For example, a child support. 50% of disposable earnings if supporting a child or spouse, in addition to those named in the garnishment order. So, based on the amount subject to the garnishment, depending on their garnishment, if you see child support is 50% of the disposable earnings, 60% of disposable earnings if not supporting another spouse or child, 5% additional in each case if there are past due accounts over 12 weeks. Creditor garnishment is 25% of disposable earnings. So that is why we are in this particular problem doing 25%. This is credit card debt. So if it's credit card debt, it's a creditor garnishment. That is 25% of disposable earnings. Administrative wage garnishment, 15% of disposable earnings. And student loan garnishment is 15% of disposable earnings. Okay? So just remember, it is not based on the wages for the week. No, it is based on the disposable earnings. Okay? Once you calculate your disposable earnings, depending on the type of garnishment that is going on, is the percentage that you are going to be calculating. Okay? So that is the second requirement for this problem. The amount of her pay subject to their garnishment is going to be $140.76. Okay? So just make sure all of the information is provided on your book, that you read it carefully, understand the definition of disposable earnings. Remember, disposable earnings is the money left over after specific taxes have been covered. These taxes have to be covered before you begin paying any of your garnishments. Okay? We have to cover our taxes. Whatever is left, from that amount that is left is the amount that we are going to garnish depending on the type of garnishment. In this case, in this problem, we have credit card debt. You can have different types of garnishment. Make sure that you review your book. All of the information is provided on your book pertaining to different examples of garnishments. Okay? And then you can figure out the amount that's going to be garnished for that particular employee for that specific type of garnishment. Okay? So, make sure that you read, make sure that you work on your assignments during the week. That way, if you have any questions, you get them to me and I can be able to assist you during the week. If you have questions or concerns, please stop by during my office hours. Okay? So that is it for this particular problem. Until next time, have a great day.